Shedding the stigma of bankruptcy. Up next on Comcast Newsmakers.
Bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our show. The economic recession has some residents rethinking the option of bankruptcy. Here to discuss when filing might be the right choice during a financial hardship is this hour's newsmaker, Bankruptcy Attorney Timothy Kingcade of Kingcade and Garcia. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
People have a stigma, a negative stigma of bankruptcy, thinking they can't get credit if that happens. Financially, they're dead in the water. You're saying that might not be true.
Well, I think you need to break it down. Before you think about the ramifications of post-bankruptcy, you need to think about whether or not bankruptcy is the right answer. Many people need bankruptcy, and while there is some stigma attached to it, most people recover from bankruptcy much quicker than they think. There are myths with bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a bad word, so to speak. Many people associate very negative stigma with bankruptcy. However, most people recover from bankruptcy rather quickly.
Now, who should file for bankruptcy?
Well, bankruptcy is a remedy. So we should identify problems that bankruptcy will solve. Bankruptcy solves what we call unsecured debt, debt without collateral. In other words, your credit cards, your medical bills. However, some people find themselves today in houses they can't afford, that they'll never be able to afford, that they probably shouldn't have bought. Bankruptcy can eliminate the debt of the house, allow you to stay in the house a little bit longer. At the end of the bankruptcy, you're debt-free. You have to move out of the house, but it does solve that problem as well.
You say the end of the bankruptcy. Now, what does that mean by that?
Well, the bankruptcy
is filed.
Yes, sir. Bankruptcy is a process. You file a bankruptcy case. I strongly recommend you do it with an attorney. Most attorneys give free consultations in this day and age for bankruptcy. After a consultation, a bankruptcy is filed. A judge will have to approve the bankruptcy, and basically at the end of the bankruptcy you get what's called a discharge. You, in other words, are discharged from your debts. Now, you have the option in bankruptcy to keep your house. If you keep your house, you have to keep making the payments. If you're behind on your payments and you don't want the house anymore, however, the house can be included.
Mm-hmm. What other types of bills are included? You're talking about credit cards, you're talking about back taxes.
Credit cards, medical bills are automatically included in bankruptcy. Taxes owed to the IRS, or if you're in a state where you have state income tax, are discharged if they're over 3 years old. So if the filing date of the bankruptcy, for instance, is 2008, taxes from 2004 and before can be included in bankruptcy.
Now, when you actually emerge from bankruptcy, what happens then? Can you get credit, or are people going to stay away from you?
Well, it's interesting to look at both sides of the coin. Introspectively, people probably think, why would anybody give me credit? I filed bankruptcy, I couldn't pay my debts. However, we live in a credit-driven economy. What I mean by that is Detroit doesn't sell cars unless people get credit. You can't sell furniture if people can't get credit for it. So there's two sides to the coin in that after bankruptcy, you're debt-free. You can't file bankruptcy again legally for 8 years. And statistics indicate that very, very few people refile bankruptcy ever again in their life. As a result, your credit comes back. There are people willing to take risks with you. And we see most clients with a credit score of 700 or better 2 years after bankruptcy.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir.
So I thought that was a stigma that stayed with you for about 7 years after.
Well, the bankruptcy can stay on your credit report. But remember, the first credit card you get after bankruptcy, and yes, I do mean you get credit cards after bankruptcy. If you file bankruptcy and list Citibank or Capital One in your bankruptcy, Citibank or Capital One will give you a new credit card almost instantly.
Very quickly, who should file for bankruptcy?
Well, great question. There are cases that are more urgent than others. If you are being sued, if your wages are being garnished, if creditors are calling you, you should think about it.
Okay, thanks very much. This hour's newsmaker, Timothy Kingcade, discussing the pros and cons of bankruptcy. I'm Spiro Canton. Thank you for watching.
The preceding has been a presentation of Comcast Newsmakers. And now, back to CNN Headline News.